All right, boom, we're live, baby.
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself, but that is not why we are here. I am Joe B. That man right there is Uncle Randy, and we are ready to throw some smoke.
Absolutely, baby. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited. We finally mustered up some listener questions. Got a few doozies. Got one hater that I think is funny. It's a funny question. Can't wait to ask it.
I'm excited. I think with this past card, Moscow, it was one of those cards. Um, I don't know, dude. Nothing was drawing me there. I figured Zabit was going to win. I'm not really sure on Hardy, although he's down to fight, and he's obviously he wants to fight. You could see from watching him fight Volkov, like he's here. He's not fucking around. He's trying to improve. He's very respectful at the end of the fight. There was no shit talking.
No excuses.
His past discretions. Who am I to judge him, man? Whatever, dude. He's trying to rebuild his life.
Yeah, I mean, technically, he was never found guilty of shit. She never showed up for court, so I don't know. I wasn't there. You wouldn't, like at the end,
Right.
of the, who knows?
No, that's a that's a good point. And then the one that I did watch, the Roberts one, right before that. I ended up watching just those three, but it was what I thought it was going to be just from reading stats and listening to other people. It was a decision machine that I had no skin in the game for.
Yeah, other than Danny Roberts, I only really paid attention to the first four. Was Zabit, Volkov, and Hardy, Danny Roberts, and of course I wanted to watch Ed Herman just because he's old as fucking dinosaur when it comes to MMA, and what a fucking beast that he's still rocking and rolling is a testament to him, because he's still a firefighter too. It's crazy. You wouldn't think he would want to engage in that shit at his age, and he still does.
Yeah, I mean, he said he was he might be done. He has to think about it. I mean, he is old in the game. Had to fight harder probably than he would have liked to for that. I mean, who knows how much he got paid? Well, I'm sure people know. I would have to actually look it up.
Yeah, I bet he actually got paid a pretty penny just because of his how many fights he's got in the UFC. So I would imagine he got paid pretty well. But I mean, I don't know how long you can keep doing those firefights like that and come out unscathed. I know he's banged up. I read an interview with him earlier today, and he is pretty banged up. So I don't know what his future is. He's a pretty old guy as far as the sport goes.
What do you get for Reebok? He only got the 2,500. Yeah. He only made 20,000.
Really?
Yeah.
And fuck what I said. That is not worth it, sir. Not for the damage that he took. No.
To your body.
Yeah, man, just the wear and tear. He's not getting any younger, and the shelf life on those. He's already outkicked his coverage with that. But got to give him props. He wants to. He says every time he fights, he's going to be a smarter guy. Works on his wrestling, but then he's just one of those old school brawlers that can be enticed into a firefight pretty easily, and that's what happened. But he did well. I mean, he got the decision.
Greg Hardy lost, which fighting on short notice, a top 10 in the rankings fighter with Volkov. Wasn't really sure where it was going to go, but at least he took the chance. It shows some heart for him to come out there short notice, wanting to at least test himself, especially after the controversy with the inhaler.
Yeah, I mean, what a testament to him is this was a no-lose situation for him. Him stepping up on short notice, he has nothing to lose. It shows Dana and all them that he's down to fight. And I still thought that he's trying so hard. He wants to be liked, right? Like he's trying so hard to overcome his past transgressions that he's doing everything right. I mean, regardless of what people say about Inhalergate, that wasn't his fault. He felt bad about it. He asked. he's trying to be by the book because he doesn't want to be unemployed. I mean, that's what he said after that fight, was all he cared about was what his boss thinks about Haler. He didn't care what anyone else thinks. But in trying to appease everyone, I think he's steering away from his biggest weapon, which was his ferocity. He's trying to show, hey, I'm a fighter. I'm a mixed martial artist. I can go 3 rounds. But Volkov didn't like the smoke when he hit him, and he charged him. But when he tried to play kickboxer with Volkov, a 6'7" kickboxer, and you're a brawler, you're gonna lose. You're gonna get outpointed, and that's exactly what happened. He needed to fight Volkov like Derek Lewis did, which Derek Lewis was getting killed until he wasn't.
Yeah, no, Hardy put it together a couple times. Came in flurries. I mean, nothing too damaging, but he definitely was trying out there. I think giving Volkov that range to keep those body kicks coming at him, like, it's just almost fear. Volkov is definitely more technical to Hardy's brawling style. But it wasn't bad. I didn't mind it.
You know what? Are we live on our YouTube right now? Did I send us to the wrong thing?
You know what? I have no idea.
I think we are.
Well, what you can do if you want is keep just recording the audio and just switch over to YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I just didn't know because I was looking on Facebook to see it.
No, it's not there.
And I don't see it.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I don't want to take away from the show. I don't know where we're live at, folks. We're live somewhere. I see the check mark. So we'll see. But what I thought was
yeah, we're on YouTube.
Interesting about Greg Hardy, though, was that, like you said, he connected on a few shots, and Volkov didn't like it, especially early. But I still question Hardy's gas tank a little, and now knowing that he's got sport-induced asthma, I mean, that sucks. And, I mean, when you're sucking for wind, I don't know. But what he didn't like was somebody finally jabbing him in the face for 3 rounds. But, you know, all in all, I give him a high grade on his performance. He fought the number 7 heavyweight in the world. Went the distance with him. I think it puts him in the top 10, in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah, they said that he hurt his right hand in the fight. That's why he wasn't letting those overhand rights fly too much. He was working a lot with the left, trying to do that. I mean, Volkov is just huge, right? So trying to get inside, like, you're like jumping to uppercut his face, or he's trying to like jump up to get that left hook in there. I think that just not having that technique down on how to get inside somebody that's longer.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting. He's going to be one of those fighters, I think, no matter how far he goes in his career, he'll have some tint of what would happen if he started younger.
For sure. I mean, just imagine how good of an athlete he is, that he has become a top 10 heavyweight fighter in, I don't know, what, 3 years of training? Never trained any kind of mixed martial arts before, and just came from football. I mean, to me, it's a testament of what he could have been, and still what he could be. I mean, the guy has the most intangible drive behind him right now, which is, I have no other options. You know, my name is so damaged. No football team's gonna sign him again.
Yeah.
He's fighting for his life every time he fights.
I guess the one thing with him too is, right, you get, because he had the football career, he has that money, so the little paychecks, he's not hurting that bad.
Yeah, and I don't know if he settled anything like civil suit with his accusers or anything. I don't know, but I'm sure his legal defense ate up some. He definitely played long enough to get the pension in the NFL, so he's got that coming in. But I don't know, man. I see a lot of potential in him. I've made up my mind. You know, I'm not gonna use his past transgressions against him. I'm all for second chance. I hate what happened if it really did, but evaluating him as a fighter, I think he's getting better every time he fights.
If it was true, right, that's what happened, should he be allowed to fight?
see, this is where you get me in trouble because I still say yes if first time offender. He should pay the price, which he did for years. He couldn't compete in any sport for it was like 4 years that he wasn't active in anything because nobody would touch him. And he definitely, it was kind of ugly. I saw the pictures, but not as ugly as Rihanna. Chris Brown did, goddamn hell. Chris Brown tore her ass up. Worse than Greg Hardy did, if that's all real.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't want to be a dick, but man, you never know what's going on in people's relationships. I hate to say that, doesn't justify it. But man, if you're not there, you don't know shit about anything. And I'm saying, including me, I don't know shit. I was never there. I don't know, when you're with somebody long enough and they know how to push your buttons, you know this, you're married. Nobody can get under your skin better than the person you love the most.
Oh, hell no. They know them nuances to jab right into that skin.
Mm-hmm. Cut straight to the white meat. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of that, by the way, I was going to tell this quick story. Scared for my life today at Popeyes. I went and got Brooke a spicy chicken sandwich this afternoon for her to try. And I was the last one they quit selling them after me. And there was a line out of the restaurant.
Jesus.
And people were so pissed and getting riled. And I was walking out with my bag, literally the last one when the lady said no more.
Damn. That's so crazy that it's that much of a hot item.
Dude, people are kicking the shit out of people over them.
I could give 2 fucks. Well,
me either. I had to try it. I was hoping it was garbage, though. I was thinking it was going to be garbage.
So you know what? Now what they should do, they should have a fighting event to find like the next top fighter, like some, on Fox or like America's Got Talent type shit. And the winner gets like 5 or a lifetime supply of chicken sandwiches from this place.
Dude, they're fucking legit as hell, though. Would I ever getting assaulted again? No. It was one I wanted to try and see. They're fucking delicious, but dude, it's not. You can feel the tension in that restaurant of people, like how much it's important to them to get one. And it really makes me realize how much the fucking aliens are laughing at us. We are a bunch of fucking animals.
Yeah.
Fucking insane, dude.
Zabit, I figured that he was going to beat Kattar. I like Zabit. I think he deserves the title shot next. I mean, I don't know who else there would be. He's ranked 5. He could fucking go for it.
He's got all the tools, right? Like the eye test.
Yeah,
he's got every tool.
He was very active, kept it moving, hands accurate, his takedowns. Like it was good to watch him.
Yeah, I think he's proved that the hype is legit. I mean, he's the truth. I think he's got a really good shot.
I still think Holloway gonna beat that ass, but
yeah, Holloway hadn't fought since. Has he fought since? Was it Poirier that pieced him up real good?
I don't.
Yeah, he went up to fight and got. He got pieced up by Poirier at 155, but I think his belt wasn't on the line.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that was it.
And so no, I don't want to face a pissed off Max Holloway. For sure. I mean, that guy's, to me, he's one of the greatest champions ever. And if you look at his run since he was a damn 20-year-old kid, he's lost twice. One was to Conor McGregor early when he was a youngster in a decision. And then Poirier. So, what can you do? Dude's a beast. I think Zabit will have his hands full. If he can compete with Max Holloway, then he's on the next level.
Hell yeah. DJ's in the chat. I put it out on Twitter that we're on YouTube.
Oh shit.
Oh. I will say next week's card with San Paulo, I'm interested in that one. Dude, did you look at who's fighting?
Yeah.
They got a good name, a good list of names of people that I'm down to watch scrap. I think you're gonna put on some great shows.
Yeah, I like Shogun, and I always like Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Arroyo's a good fight. I mean, yeah, they're loaded with good potential fights.
But even the prelim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, James Krause is a fucking killer, man. He's one of those guys that doesn't get talked about much, but his tools in the tool shed are fucking incredible. He's got it all too.
Yeah. You Ronaldo, Bobby Green.
Mm-hmm. Bobby Green. Shit, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
No, he was one I liked and just could never get it over those humps. It's crazy to watch those fighters. Like you've seen for a while, they're on that tier, ready to get some ass, and then bam, they're just like, fuck. And
What happened with Melvin Gillard, man? I thought he was the Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
For a while, and then his chin just went bye-bye or something, or too much cocaine. I think he was a fan of the old nose candy, goddamn hell.
Henan Burrell on a prelim.
Yeah. That's TJ Dillashaw derailed his career.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, by whooping his ass twice. Good too. Real good.
Yeah.
So does that put I think Dillashaw is going to be the one guy. He is going to be the Barry Bonds of MMA. That even when he comes back, he will always have an asterisk, even more than John Jones, anybody, because it was so blatantly clear. And he was also finally admitted it clearly that, yes, I was doping, not just a tainted supplement or kangaroo meat or any bullshit. He tried to do the right thing and own it after he was a bitch and called everybody else out for steroids. I just think he's going to be the Barry Bonds.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And it's such a shame because he was such a hard ass about, oh, fucking, I never do drugs. I'm all super clean. I'm this. Everybody's a bitch. I'm leaving. And then EPO of all things, like, oh, shit, you took it to that level? All right.
EPO,
Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, you straighten up giving yourself blood transfusions.
Yeah.
When you do EPO, they get as fancy as doing literally, like they'll transfuse blood in their system. I mean, he's exactly Lance Armstrong. That's perfect because that's how Lance was. He attacked everyone that attacked him, sued them.
Yeah, dude. He sued people. That Lance is he's probably the worst athlete ever, right?
Oh, for sure.
Allegedly. I mean, or not allegedly.
Like in his spot, you think that what he did is genius. He's just trying to flip the script. But when you do that shit, when you fall so much harder.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the best way to do it almost is like Frank Mir. No, not even Frank Mir. Who would it be? They just never said yes or no. They just took their punishment and then showed back up and just would never talk about it. You know, TJ trying to get sympathy came across to me even more smug. I mean, who fucking got fucked worse than Cody Garbrandt, though? The dude was on top of the world and loses twice to the guy that's because he was doping super good for the Cody fights.
Oh, yeah.
And Cody loses those two, and now he's not even the same fighter. Like, he's never been right since.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true, dude. Such a shame, too.
No shit, dude. I don't know, man. That's crazy, but it'll be shit. I think TJ, because the suspensions are always retroactive. Hell, I think he's already a little over a year. He'll be back before we know it.
Yeah, I think what did he get? 2 years?
2 years. It was retroactive to the fight. It's already been over like a year and a couple months. He signs a fight and goes into camp. He'll be fighting, by late summer.
Yeah.
They'll start talking about it once he's in camp again. It's crazy. Shit goes quick.
Lance Armstrong.
Yep, he is. He is the Lance Armstrong. Shout out to him. I wanted to ask you, I know you had this on the news part, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it quick because it's I was actually surprised by it. Did you look into any of the KSI and Logan Paul fight?
Some of it. It's obviously a money grab. I'm not whatever. It's stupid as fuck, but they looked horrible. Like that. I guess I don't know. This is what we're gonna come to now. The YouTubers are now They're gonna host boxing matches to. I mean, what KSI has already said, I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, Logan Paul wants Dana White to sign him.
Yeah, dude, he'll get fucking smoked.
Yeah, here's the place where I give them both props is just because, we both have podcasts and try to build audiences. Respect to them for building a big enough audience to be able to fucking do that.
That's
How
true.
baller is that shit? Like, I mean, I agree with you. Like, watching it makes me cringe a lot. I do feel like they took it serious, like they tried, which is commendable. But what, to me, the most commendable part is good for you. Fucking, if you got enough people that follow you that you can find a way to get DAZN to stream your fight, then you got, that shows, your following talks. And that's all done on social. They've done it by social media. I don't even know why the Paul brothers are so famous. I don't follow YouTubers.
No, that's where it's after our time. We're not there anymore. Like all the kids know, but even that, I think part of his YouTube fame, like he has his core group, but I don't know how many new followers they're getting. But I don't know. Part of it's probably some jealousy, right? Because they have that status that they could put that on and actually sell. Like I was gonna possibly do a podcast New Hampshire live show, but being a Tuesday night, how far I would have to drive and being responsible for ticket sales, like I can't even get my friends to listen to my shit now half the time.
Yeah.
How the fuck am I gonna get them to drive out? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's insane. I don't know. I commend them for that. Whatever they did to hit that switch right. I mean, I guess the Logan Paul's jacked. I mean, he looked jacked in what I saw of the fight, and
he's been training, and I've heard it on like Rogan. I think Shabs mentioned it, like because Logan Paul's been trying to get fights or been training, so it's been mentioned. Like he has put in the work, and it looks like KSI has too. There were a couple things like the punch to the back of the head. Logan Paul landed on KSI. Like their technique looks shitty.
Well, that's what cost them the fight. I heard is they deducted that point, and that's why KSI got the decision.
Yeah,
he had been training with like one of Floyd's boys, so they have money. I never knew how rich these YouTubers were, but clearly they have fucking deep pockets.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Like what? And part of it, well, as far as being a show coming out now and doing YouTube or Facebook, is we're behind the curve where they jumped out in the beginning. What's up, little man?
He said, "Hey, buddy." All right, go to bed, buddy. Love you. Love you. Good night. Shut that door, bud. All right, sorry about that. Go ahead, Joe. Kids, speaking of how old we are, there you go. That's what happens.
Yeah, no shit, right? But I don't know. I guess if they're gonna do it right, why not just set up a whole fucking organization, and that way you can do like your Bieber Tom Cruise fight. Let's bring that back.
I mean, as much as you're trying to make a joke, I don't know if that's not where it's going, because social media, like your following now, is worth so much money. Sponsors pay you for your following, not for you. They pay you for how many eyes and ears they get access to by getting granted access to your social media following.
Right. So I don't know. I would never buy the pay-per-view for that shit. I'll look at highlights.
No, I mean, here's the thing though. What's crazy is they're both professional boxers now. Professional boxers. KSI is a professional boxer with a 1-0 record. Logan Paul is a professional boxer with an 0-1 record.
KSI goes out undefeated.
No shit. And to find out, it actually did pretty fucking well as far as the streams go. So as torn as I'm like you, I can admit it too. Like a big portion of my bias is like fucking hatery almost. Like, Jesus, you want to think like, damn, they're getting over on this, but they just kind of flipped the system on its ear. So I at least want to give him props to that. At least, I mean, shit. Good for you, I guess. I think Durán has kind of dug himself into a shitty spot, though. Like, I haven't subscribed to it. I've listened to some of their commentary has been very Bush League. And even Schaub's talked about that before, like the quality. Some of it's been good, but, you know, I don't know. If it all goes to this streaming type shit, though, and anybody can do it, I say embrace it like you say, and let's put Bieber and fucking Maverick in the ring, and let's see what happens. That's the one I actually would pay for that one, just because of how fucking crazy. And if Tom Cruise whipped that ass, the fucking ageless one.
Well, with that, we might as well dive into the rest of the news.
Yeah.
Former Bellator finalist Alexis Villa convicted in the 2011 kidnapping and murder of Camilo Salazar. How fucked up is that shit?
Pretty fucked up. I mean, there's been a few fighters over the year. I mean, War Machine. You got a couple of guys from Brazil that were rapists that fought in the UFC and convicted. You know, it's not as many as people try to think, because I think that finally the public is getting educated on that most fighters are very intelligent. Most of them are highly intelligent. You know, it's just a very small fraction, but the few that are so far off the rails, yeah, they do shit like this, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, you got on here about about Anaya Blanchard.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking sucks, man.
They arrested the Yazid.
Did you see him?
Yeah, with his big old swollen eyeball.
That had to have happened during the struggle of his arrest. Mugshot as well.
Probably. They still haven't found her, but there was blood, so there's some injury. They think that there were others. But yeah. Dude, if
I don't think it looks. Have you read his rap sheet?
Yeah, dude. Like
the fuck is he not in jail?
Yeah, I don't know. He should have been in jail. I don't get how he got off before, because he was just in trouble for like an alleged kidnapping as it was.
Yeah, and it's like a 2011 attempted murder.
Yeah, dude, fuck.
Like hitting somebody with a car and shit. Like, fucking insane. He fell through the system like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sucks. I hate that she's not been. Every day that she's not found is worse.
And yeah, and seeing the blood in the theory of the injury.
Yeah.
Hopefully they find her. All right. It sucks.
Yeah, she's got a very well-to-do family. Her mom and dad, and then both of her step-parents. Like, they're all trying to, get it done, and everybody pitching in and supporting it. It just blows my mind. If all the money that's been put behind this and eyeballs that have been put on it, that they haven't found her, it really scares the shit out of me, because you know that the vigor of the search has been amplified by the amount of attention and money that's been put into it, and they still can't find her. It sucks.
Yeah. Dude, human trafficking is a real shit.
Oh, shit. Speaking of that, what about old Conor McGregor? Not the daddy. Jerry. What is Maury Povich says he's a father.
I'm sure he was jumping up and down and be like, I told you. I told you.
Yep. They're all bullshit. All the allegations. I hope so. I mean, the sad part of it is that happens. A lot of people, you get money and you become a target, especially if you're borderline in trouble and shit, and somebody sees the opportunity to pounce. Dude, you're like blood in the water for a fucking shark, for somebody to jump out. He's got to take responsibility for that he put himself in those positions. But yeah, if it's any of these allegations that aren't true, I fucking hate the people that bring them forward and make up shit. Nothing chaps my ass more.
Yeah, the false accusers.
Yes. They should be burned alive, in my opinion.
Bellator was this weekend. King Mo lost. Suffered a knockout. I can't even believe that dude's still fighting.
Mm-mm. Me either, and I don't like it. I hope that they don't. I know he's talked about retiring, but just the number of times the damage he's taken from KOs and how much more easily he's been had the light switched off. I mean, you gotta eventually stop it. I mean, fuck. It's one thing you got to give Dana White with Chuck Liddell. He said no more.
Speaking of Bellator, Chris Cyborg, newly signed Bellator fighter, who's fighting, I think, in December or no, next weekend. It's either the end of November or December.
Yeah.
For the title of the 145-pound division, wants Scott Coker to do a UFC cross promotion so that way she can fight Amanda Nunes and get that rematch going.
Yeah.
He's already doing a thing with Ryzen, so at least he's learning how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously, UFC is going to be the bigger dog, but if the money's there, why not? You need money, especially after WMEI or whatever spent $4 billion.
Yeah, I just don't see Dana ever doing it because of the instance of if the UFC loses one of those fights, then that's going to sway too much. It's smart for Coker. I would push for it, and I would love to see it. And if I'm Coker, I almost start playing dirty pool. Like, you know what? Fuck, bitch. We've been trying to do this. We got fighters calling out your fighters. If you don't want the smoke, say you don't want the smoke. Like, almost put the pressure on Dana and hope that he folds to the psychology of it. But
I mean, they're backed by Viacom, dude. They got money for days.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So it would be, I mean, it's great. It would be awesome for Coker to do.
But Cyborg don't want that smoke, bro. You watch the fight. I watched that fight. She flat out, dude, nobody wants that smoke. I don't want to. I would never fight Amanda Nunes. She punches like a freight train, and somebody that learns that they've got hands like that and get confidence in them. Like right now, she's at Chuck Liddell level at his peak. Like she's doing exactly what he did. Like everybody's beat when they come in the ring or the octagon, and they drop bombs, and the other person is the one that gets caught. Mm-hmm. Cyborg didn't. I mean, it wasn't even a close fight. It was a demolishment.
It was an ass whooping.
Yep.
Corey Anderson was fined 10 G's for unsportsmanlike conduct from putting the hands on the ref. Can't touch the ref.
No, you can't. I mean, I get it, but he's actually in a good spot now that John Jones has said he's taking Reyes. Like, I mean, he's the clear next. He gets the winner, so he can just, recover. And he's kind of become like the people's champ a little bit because he opened so many people's eyes. So, that wasn't his normal personality. People that know him know he's one of the nicest guys in the world. He was just disrespected to a level that most fighters don't get, and he was justified. Motherfuckers totally overlooked him. Totally.
Yeah. It was definitely getting passed over as not the money mover as far as coming to fighting it. Some of it has to fall on him as far as maybe past performances gone. But, I mean, he was definitely disrespected hard enough where he was like, nah, fuck that bitch. You don't play me. And when King Kong apeshit and busted that man up.
Real bad. Johnny Walker. Oh, man. That sent that kid, and he said all the right things, and I'm sure he'll be fine. He's a young, super talented fighter. But, I think Corey proved his point, and people will definitely at least know that he is a viable opponent because basically everybody in the MMA world just considered him like a fill-in in that fight. I mean, me and you took him, of course. We love him. He's been on Simmons and More. What a cool dude. And he's just a beast. So I hope he can keep that intensity, but not be someone he doesn't like because he didn't like who he was. He apologized so quick, and you could tell it was sincere,
Yeah, I mean, the anger, that rage, right? Fucking If he can keep that intensity with a solid mind of just there to fight, still respect the opponent, but dude, if he keeps fighting like that, he's going to be a lot of trouble for a lot of people.
Oh, no shit. Absolutely. I mean, he's one that it almost looked like he discovered his hands in that fight, like just totally let them go. I've never seen him like completely let him go like he did in that Johnny Walker fight. And I know he's a beast as a wrestler, as in the clinch, he's just nasty, but he just straight up was like, let's get it on, bitch, and destroyed him.
Yeah.
So I think he's okay with the 10 Gs. I think he knew he fucked up. I respect the fact that he had apologized on Twitter, like literally minutes. I remember it was like he had to be still in the locker room when he was like, I need to apologize to Johnny Walker, which is cool, you know?
Yeah.
Not T. Dillashaw. He did the opposite.
Gaslam, I think, only got 1,000 for missing weight, and then his coach got like 200 for elbow gate.
Yeah.
That shit should have been more.
Yeah, and that's karma, though. That all bit him in the ass. I'm a firm believer in it, and that just and I could tell it really unsettled you when I told you about it. Like, and then you watched it, like you were pretty pissed off about it. Definitely disrespectful, and I think the MMA gods were like, you know what, fuck that. You know what, buddy? If you can't take this serious enough, we're gonna let Darren Till come in and kick your leg off a little bit and jump right over you in the rankings. Because now Robert Whittaker is calling out Darren Till.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think Whittaker smokes his ass.
Yeah, unless Till can be more aggressive than what he was with Gaslam, go for that kill. Whittaker is going to come at him. I'm sure he's hungry enough that he wants to get back to Israel.
Yeah, he wants to get that stink off of him from Israel for sure. You know, and I was a little worried about his chin, but I've been listening actually to his podcast and shit, and he's clear as a bell. So I'm not worried about it as much. You know, over time, his fighting style is not one that lends itself to a long career because he's he gets injured a lot because he fights so hard. That's the only way I see Till getting a victory in that is like if Robert Whittaker breaks a hand again, you know, like breaks his right hand and he can't throw his right hand the whole fight and Till can just kick him. But if Whittaker's not hurt, you know, he can take you down or he can kick you. He can play, you know, he's got the whole arsenal. So
could be interesting. So I'm curious what these questions are that you have, especially this one for the hater, but we should probably save that one to the end. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to save that one.
I'm curious.
The first one I'm going to give to you. It was just kind of asked us both, but I want to ask it to you. All right. Why do you like fighting so much? Do you ever think that it's damaging to the psyche of young viewers?
I like fighting so much because it's a test of not just your physicalness, but where your mind is, what you can see. I mean, boxing is called the sweet science, right? There's a science to breaking down how you're going to defeat your opponent. And with mixed martial arts, dude, I'm a huge fan of that as far as because it combines everything. Like I thought when it started, it was cool. You had your own style, but as it's evolved, I think I've liked it more because you have to put everything together to be the best. You can have more experience or you're better in one area than the other, but to still have to put it all together and come on top, man, I don't know. I love that shit. Plus I watch, all the Kung Fu movies. Come on, son. Fucking watching Jackie Chan fucking beat the shit out of people or Bruce Lee beat the shit out of people. Ong Bak, fucking all that shit. I'm down with, I love fighting. I don't know.
Chuck Norris, goddamn hell.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, dude. Like,
I'm with you. I think first off, I know who this is because I know this guy on Instagram. And what the fuck are you talking about? The psyche of young children. That's the parents' fucking job. If you don't want them to see fights, don't let them watch it if they're a fucking kid. It's not for kids. It's not marketed to kids. No one's ever marketed MMA towards kids, so stop. Too many adults use that fucking crutch. Oh, the kids, bullshit. It's those little bitch ass motherfuckers that are offended by everything because they see some blood on TV. Bitch, that's not for your kids. Let them
I,
do for kids. Goddamn hell.
I let my kids watch some of the fights.
I do too.
I will show them all of them. I mean, none of them have really been like the bloody gore ones where like people's faces are ripped open. But maybe if it's like a quick knockout or something, or if it's a knockout or a submission, I'll show them that. Just to, I don't know, not teach them off of that, but like just be like, oh, look how he's moving here. More teach them what they're doing.
Mhm.
And then because I mean, my son takes karate. I think my daughter might be starting to take karate now. I don't know. She was at Karate Tay with him and got involved in. I grapple with them all the time and just like I tell them, it's not even just to go beat up people. Like, but one, you should not defend yourself.
Absolutely.
Govern who you are. Like you have to. You don't know what's gonna go on. I'm not saying that I'm gonna go fucking Bruce Lee and fight 500 ninjas, but you never know. Like you should just know how to defend yourself. I mean, Christ, dude, look at Walt Harris's stepdaughter, dude. Fucking we just said Blanchett. You know what I mean? Like just to I mean, and I don't know what happened and how he got her, but
Of course.
you never know. But always at least be prepared.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is. I mean, my son's been in jiu-jitsu since he was 3, and I love it. And for one, it's absolutely for that, for not only for being able to protect yourself against bullies and shit, which happen your whole life, but for your self-confidence, just to be able to handle yourself and know that you can use your body in defense if you have to. But what I love about fighting, for me, at the end of the day, what I love the most about it, and even more as I get older, is unless there's fuckery involved in the organization, which I've not seen that in the UFC ever. You get the truth at the end of the fight. You get the truth, the straight up truth of who won that fight, that contest. Like, it's a very honest thing. You see what happens. It's a test of two people, men or women, and you just find out who's better on that night. You know, you get a clear answer most of the time. I mean, with decisions, you never know, but to me, it's about as pure as you can have with what we have today, with people being able to still be safe. So that's why I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, though, since you brought up Bruce Lee, this is a question. I'm going to go ahead and go to the hater question because it's ridiculous. MMA is dog shit.
Wow.
Most of the fans are just meatheads and couldn't spell martial arts if they had to.
All right. Well, this person's obviously just trolling, but go on.
Don't you think that Bruce Lee would think that MMA is bullshit? There's so much wrong with this question. I'm going to let you go first, though.
Dude, he created it. Jeet Kune Do is basically the first mixed martial art. Are you your fucking mind?
This person definitely is a troll.
Yeah, no kidding. Whether he was actually as good as a fighter as he taught, like his principles, and I mean that's what everybody does today. Like it's almost like he invented martial arts. I mean, he didn't, but he invented mixed martial arts by combining everything. I mean, between boxing, kickboxing, judo, Japanese jiu-jitsu, like he's the father of mixed martial arts.
He's the first one on record that said in a street fight application, you're going to be best off if you mix these motherfuckers and use some of this and some of this and some of this. Your best chances of winning are if you use some of all of it. And people don't know, like, he actually won. He boxed because he beat his name was Gary Alm. He was a 3-time champion, beat him in boxing, and he was a decorated fencer, Bruce Lee. Like, not only all the kung fu and the judo, because he grappled too, like you were saying, and he was just a wizard. So what a dumbass question. You clearly don't know what you're talking about. Thank you for the question, and make sure you subscribe to the show. And
but then I mean, just their fans, like, I mean, with everything being incorporated and because it's becoming more mainstream, a lot of your fans are people that practice jiu-jitsu. So they're some nerds, people that I mean, people
No.
that sit at a desk. It's not your normal, I just do steroids and sit at the gym. No, you do have those. You have those people. They're just there. Not everybody, but they are there. I mean, I bounced at a bar, and they used to show the UFCs once, the once pay-per-view fucking once a month, and guaranteed there was a fight every time because people are drinking and get all ramped up. I mean, it's a bunch of guys in there mainly, but that's what
Their own.
some of that is the environment also. It's not just that person. It's you get egged on and amped up, and beer muscles start inflating, and then your guy loses, and then you snap.
Well, that's why most of the jiu-jitsu people that I know, like the majority of them, and it's a funny correlation, but because Joe Rogan's talked about it too, a lot of them smoke a lot of pot, and they're chill as can fucking be.
Mm-hmm.
It is strictly like jiu-jitsu to them, and these are people, a lot of them that do mixed martial arts, not just jiu-jitsu, is like yoga is to someone else almost. Like it's very fluid. It's about the art form of it and the movement and the testing of themselves. And they're the last person to start some shit or be a meathead. And they're also the last person you would want to try some shit on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the majority of them. And like Joe's saying, every day this sport becomes more like that and less of the Mark Coleman wannabes. You mean, those guys are legends, but you know, it was a different time. Mark Kerr, you know, the Smashing Machine. That's when it was a lot of steroids and shit. Now these guys they got skinny fat bodies and are killers.
Mm-hmm.
They're killers. So it's a very stereotypical with the meathead type shit. Spare me with that. That's some old school shit. You don't know who's a fucking psychopath and who's not now when it comes to fighting. You pick on the wrong motherfucker, you pay the price. All right, so this is a good question. Joe, have you ever thought that a UFC or Bellator event was fixed?
No, I did. No, I think judges suck. The only time I've seen like shittiness has been judges. Usually somebody's getting knocked out or submitted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you're gonna fix that. Like when they're bleeding out there, it's not fake stomps where they're pulling their punches and just slapping like in wrestling.
Yeah.
I just don't see how you're gonna fix it. And I doubt just the pride alone from some of these guys. If you go, hey, you're gonna lose this one, they're gonna tell you to fuck off and get out of here. There was only one instance that I heard, but it was old. I forget, some low key thing, like the main event had some shenanigans.
Yeah, like it was like in Korea or Japan or something.
Yeah.
The guy was actually approached, was gonna do it and changed his mind or something, and I remember hearing something about that. But I mean, if you're gonna go, the only where you need to look if you're looking for fixed fights is Japan. You know, fucking Pride, old school. You know, there's a lot of talk around that back in the Pancrase days. They're stiff. But I do have one Bellator fight that I still to this day swear was fixed, and that was Kimbo and Ken Shamrock. That fuckery where Ken got knocked out with the most baby punch I've ever seen. And when he had Kimbo had his back with his hooks in and couldn't rear naked choke him, despite the fact that he had the arm hidden and trapped in the bicep. Like that one to me was highly suspect. Not on Kimbo's side. I felt like Ken Shamrock took a dive in that fight. I still do.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think Kimbo would have known, nor would he have done it or went along with it. But even if you go back and watch that old fight, and Joe Rogan thinks, I've heard him talk, he thinks it was fake as shit too. That Ken's not above that. You know, I love Ken Shamrock to death, but that motherfucker and late in his career,
WWE, man,
started doing shit for some money. And I feel sad. Have you seen the recent wrestling footage of him where he took the nut move where he put his hand on the guy's dick and then the guy flipped him with his dick?
Nuh-uh.
Yes. That's the most dangerous man in the world from back in the day, now having to grab dicks in wrestling.
Dude. Well, Come on, man.
For a second.
Dude.
That's-
Ken. Oh.
Oh man. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? For a buck, I guess. But you know, he was a pioneer though. Those old Lions Den guys.
Oh, yeah.
Savages.
Yeah. No, him and his brother.
No shit. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think nowadays you could I don't think you could pull it off. For one, in a real fight, you got too many people that are the eyes on it, are too close. I mean, shit, it gets so dissected in the media now every fight that I don't think you'd stand a prayer of not getting caught in it.
The only one that's suspect is Connor. He taps early. I'm just kidding. It's just more just lack of experience. He just tapped Nate Tech. As soon as you get him locked up, you're like, oh no.
No, I mean, I think that's just people down in their core, whether they do that or that's like something you don't know if you're going to be a guy that'll go to sleep or a guy that's going to tap quick till you're there. You can pretend, but you're going to, probably be one or the other. And I'm with him. I mean, he's also a businessman. As soon as he knew it's over, he's like, nope, it's over. All right, cool. Got to start preparing for the next.
Yeah, no. But no, I don't see it going down now. I just don't. Even something like back in the day, man, telling like Pat Miletich, hey, we'll pay you $25,000 extra. You want to take a dive? Tell you to fuck off, dude.
No, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Like I just don't think the fighters don't make that much money. If they were getting paid millions, maybe we're talking. Ain't nobody gonna fucking take a dive for $20,000.
No, you're absolutely right. And now you're at such risk of getting cut because there's so many people that want your spot on these bigger organizations. I mean, the UFC, man, you lose wrong, you're cut. Once they decide they're moving on from you, you're done. And then, Bellator has they've come so far now with their credit. They're so good. Their crop is so good that used to just be everybody said as soon as you're cut from the UFC that they'd pick you up. That's not the case anymore. They're going to pick up the good ones. But, some of these guys, you get cut, you're going back to local promotions, regional promotions, and that is what it is. This is the last one because we covered the KSI and Logan Paul one. Wrestling always beats jiu-jitsu. Prove me wrong.
Because you can get off the back. Wrestling isn't finishing it. Were you trying to pin him?
We just saw Damian Maia disprove that, right? With Ben Askren.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You just kind of settled that argument. I mean, it's not always the case. If I had to put my weight on one, man, it's so 50-50. I mean, God, they're so a good combo. That's why I want my son to do both. But I do tend to think that guys that have wrestled first tend to have a better base in MMA.
Yeah. Yeah. If you did jiu-jitsu versus wrestling in combined with your MMA, I mean, you might score better takedowns, but off the back, you have to worry more about jiu-jitsu off the back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see that's where you get more in trouble. I mean, if you're wrestling and you can get to the back, but
now in wrestling, it's so funny that now there's like two kinds of wrestling. You've got your amateur wrestling, but then now a whole new breed of wrestling with MMA wrestling, which to me, the father of that will always be GSP. Like he's the first testament that he was not a wrestler prior to mixed martial arts. He was a karate guy.
Yeah.
He started wrestling early in his career and got like Olympic caliber good because he's such a good athlete. But he learned MMA wrestling and was a lot of people still say he's probably the best MMA wrestler all in all, that there's ever been. But then you got guys like Ben, who I would have lost my house on his ass. I was so big on Ben Askren when he came in. I said he was going to run through everybody. Jesus. I don't know. I just don't know if Ben's got it in the heart, like anymore. If he wants to do it. He's so nice.
Would you do him and GSP? Or is it you think
No,
GSP's smoking?
I think GSP smokes him, and I think GSP and Khabib we need to see before George is too old. And honestly, if they don't get Tony Ferguson signed soon with Khabib, I'm going to be furious.
Yeah, I don't get what the holdup is.
Shit.
I don't get what that holdup is.
I don't either. And Tony Ferguson gets so fucked in all this because he had that fight and then Khabib died and his liver failed during his weight cut and shit, and he got fucked out of that. Then he shreds his knee because of a fucking cable at a UFC press conference shit or a TV show or something because he's wearing his sunglasses inside and he trips. I mean, the guy's a savage in the fucking octagon. We just need to get them in there and get it done.
Hell yeah, no, I agree.
Well, I wanted to ask you one last question before we go. This is just from me to you about we saw. I don't know if you saw, but Nick Diaz was aired on Era Hawani today.
Yeah,
and he was in rare form. I mean, I love some Nick Diaz. Goddamn, even more than Nate. He's my original dude after Evan Tanner, but he's talking like he wants Jorge, like to avenge his brother because he said that he was going to baptize Nate. And I've never known Nick to be one that like takes any of that shit as like fake and puffs it up, whether it's justified or not, because Jorge to me was nothing but respectable to Nate the whole time. But Nick had to find himself something to be pissed about, and now he is. So I wonder if that's got any legs. What do you think?
So first, I think that he was like higher than Giraffe's pussy.
Well, you definitely know that for sure.
Because I'm not sure where he would just go off on little tangents. And even like I'm trying to remember what he said, and even Ariel was like, "Who are you talking to?"
Oh no shit! A couple things, man. Where I was like, what's happening?
Like, where did we just travel to? Secondly, I believe we called that.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pretty sure we said either after either after actually watching the fight when we live streamed it, or when we recapped 244 that Nick was going to come out, and then bang, week later, not even a week later, a week later, dude comes out.
And they don't normally do like this is weird for Diaz brothers because Nick or Nate has always been very respectable. People have tried to get him to try to fight GSP, and he said, "No, those are my brother's fights." And Nick usually would do the same thing. So the fact that Nick is calling out Jorge means he has Nate's blessing to do so.
Well, I mean, baddest motherfucker belt, right?
Yeah, did you hear Nick say that's my belt? I don't care what either of them. They know that's my belt.
So should UFC capitalize on it? Probably. Why not? Why let Nick's draw go to waste?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? He's gonna bring numbers, he's gonna fight. There shouldn't be any fuckery. Why not just get it done? If you're not gonna give him Jorge like the winner of Usman and Covington, then why not try to get it with Nick?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm 100% with you. I think they had to have already talked about it or something, because this just came out of fucking nowhere. I mean, I know we had talked about it, but the general like MMA community was not expecting Nick Diaz, who is he has a very high social, way worse than Nate. He does not like interviews. He doesn't do well in them. He knows that. And it's just never been his thing. He doesn't like to make eye contact. He's almost autistic in a way, not in a bad way. I'm just saying on that spectrum, you could almost say Nick is kind of, and he probably is somewhere on the spectrum. Hell, we all are. But for him to come out this hard to want to fight, because usually he's anti, like, I don't want that, fuck that. They ain't coming right. Today he said, Ariel said, so are you coming back? And he flat out said, that's up to Dana. That's on the UFC. I'm ready to fight. I say you capitalize on it. George will turn around quick. That motherfucker was relatively unscathed. I know he's got some hand injuries. He's all about paper, man.
That's what I'm saying, right? Keep that legacy, get that paper while you can. You might as well. I mean, the Diaz brothers are as big as the draw as fucking Connor, so why not come in and get that other panty night?
Dude, I'll watch it again. And I want to see them talk so much shit that while they've got a little heat to this, for Jorge to say, all right, I'll put the belt back on it and throw that belt back up again just for the fuck of it, just to fuck with people and say it's back on the line. I love it.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I just wanted to ask you that. I was fucking thrown a flip listening to Nick, but fuck, that was weird. God.
You know, it's like it reminded me of when I was on Podcast of the Round Table, and I was high as fuck.
You were so stoned.
And
you were better than Nick was today.
Yeah, well, you know, I haven't, sir, dealt with any of the brain damage. Well, not any, but as much.
Yeah. I fucking, why not, man? This era is there's so much possibilities with fights, and I love it that people are like crossing over. Hell, there's no clear defined weight classes anymore because people are moving up and through them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want them all to be this way, but having one on each one of your mega cards, I don't see a problem with it. Of throwing some motherfuckers that people want to see scrap. I love it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, they're gonna have to figure out to do something. Like you said, the Moscow one, I'm curious to see. I'll have to go back and actually look at what it brought in for views or whatever. They said I watched those last 3 fights, but a lot of the names, it's like I already had plans, so it's like it wasn't like, oh shit, I got to be home to watch that. Where some of them, dude, I love watching that live and getting that shit. Like Sao Paulo, I'm actually very interested in. I'm probably gonna check that one out.
Yeah, it's actually intriguing, but to be honest, I watched the Moscow one on demand with my ESPN Plus after the fact. I didn't even watch them live. Just because I didn't really have the most care about it, like missing something on them. But this next one I think I'll be into. So, well, cool, brother, man. Well, shit.
Hell yeah.
I want to thank everybody that sent in the questions, even the troll, obviously. Send them in again, goddamn. Hell, that works for me.
Hell yeah. Send them in any place. You can hit them up at Married AF on Instagram. Any pod will do. Instagram, Twitter, Married as Fuck on Twitter, Smoke Throwing on Twitter. Or
that's
even
where you need to go if you can, though. If you can, submit them there. Like, that's where they're not going to fall through the cracks or anything like that.
Yeah, either Smoke Throwing on Twitter, or you can even email to throwingsmokemma@gmail.com.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Booyah, baby. Well, cool, man. Will you let me know? We're gonna go next week and we'll talk all about the upcoming one, or we're gonna do 2 weeks?
You want to go 2 weeks? What do you got? What do you have next week?
Yeah, we can let some shit build up, and then we'll come back in 2 weeks and reconvene. Goddamn.
Hell yeah, dude! It was a good time, man. As always, a little bit longer than we thought.
Yeah, it never goes. I thought this one would be 45 minutes, and so not surprised it went an hour.
Yeah, man. Too much to talk about.
Yeah, brother. All right, man. Well, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you soon. Goddamn.
Peace.
All right, brother.
All right.